Persuasive essays, a quick overview. First, let's talk about what a persuasive essay is. We're going to look at a sample prompt. We're going to plan our essay, and then we're going to look at an example. Persuasive writing convinces or gives an opinion. It uses convincing reasons, facts, and sometimes statistics to get the reader to agree. Sometimes the writer uses emotional reasons with the logical reasons to further convince the reader. Persuasive essays are written just like other essays in structure. All the essays that we have studied have an introduction. They have a hook that gets the reader interested. It might be a question, statistic, quote, or description. The essay contains a clear, concise, defined thesis statement at the end of the first paragraph. This thesis statement should answer the question that the persuasive prompt asks you. In the body, use strong topic sentences and transitions to move the narrative along. Use vivid and powerful examples or reasons to support your point of view. In the conclusion, return to the thesis and give a statement of greater meaning or importance. You can even give a call to action. Here's a persuasive prompt that we sometimes use in my class. It gives specific information. It asks a specific question of the writer. Recently, the U.S. government gave American Insurance Group $170 billion to keep the company from going out of business. There were no guidelines provided by the U.S. government as to how this money should or should not be spent. Instead of using all this money for that purpose, AIG executives paid $165 million in bonuses to over 400 employees. Do you agree with the government's giving money to bankrupt companies, such as AIG, to keep them from going out of business? Why or why not? Should there be guidelines as to how the money is spent? Why? Give specific reasons for your ideas. Always plan your essay. In persuasive essays, use the prompt to help you write. The prompt gives you most information needed for the introduction. Provide the reader with that information about the actual topic after giving a hook. Brainstorm a way to start with a question, quote, or statistic. Form your thesis from the prompt. The thesis must answer the questions given to you in the prompt. And these were, do you agree with the government's giving money to bankrupt companies, such as AIG, to keep them from going out of business? Why or why not? Should there be guidelines as to how the money is spent? Why? Make a chart to answer the questions, giving strong reasons or evidence to support your ideas. Then brainstorm a way to end, restate the thesis, and give a call to action. Be sure you plan all of these items on a separate sheet of paper before you begin to write. This will keep your writing organized and help you get your essay written very well. Here's a sample chart of how to make sure you answer the questions that are provided in the prompt. On the left-hand side, you see the first question, and then I brainstormed some answers before I got ready to write. Do I agree with the government giving money? Why or why not? I agree that some companies need to be bailed out and some do not. I wrote, not every company should be bailed out. Some companies, like health insurance companies, should stay in business to keep people's insurance intact. Nobody wants to be left without insurance at a moment's notice. Also, companies like banks should be protected because it contains people's life savings. On the right-hand side, the next question you have to answer. Should there be guidelines as to how the money is spent and why? My answer is yes. It is easy for companies to spend the money wrongly through raises and bonuses. Money should be given for the specific purpose of paying bills or clearing debt. So those were my initial ideas as to how to answer the two questions. And then I put all my information together for my plan for my essay. When you get finished writing, be sure to edit your essay with the top 5. Be sure you look for your introductory word or phrase commas, like at the beginning of the story. If you have a sentence that starts with a prepositional phrase of at least 4 words, or if it starts with an adverb like when, because, since, Be sure you find the end of the phrase and put a comma. Also put commas after your transitional words or phrases like finally, in conclusion, and then. Look for your compound sentence commas. You should have some compound sentences which contain two complete thoughts. Be sure you put a comma after the first thought. He was my friend, comma, but now I can never trust him again. Interrupter commas. These are phrases in the middle of sentences that explain or give more information. Be sure you put commas before and after these phrases. Sentencing. Check for your fragments. Make sure every sentence has a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. Check for run-ons. Make sure your sentence doesn't have too many thoughts and just goes on forever. Separate your run-ons into 2 or more sentences. Look at your spelling and your verb tense. Your verbs must agree with subjects, and don't change tense in your essay. Next, we're going to look at an example essay in Persuasive Essays Part 2.